Right. We are in chapter 9. And although we might have been talking about it, now we're going to actually focus in on the concept of an integer. Right. I do have to mention the integer note card. Well, hopefully we've made this by now. That tells you what to do when you add integers. Okay. And we're actually going to do something when we're looking at when they're subtracting 2. So anytime you have something where it says 2 and it says minus 2, you're taking the opposite of 2. So this little sign means opposite. So really when you're putting this together, the opposite of an opposite of 2, you could think of it like this. They just kind of come together and they make a plus. That's how you end up being 4, okay? That's kind of a strange way of thinking about it, probably a strange way of saying it too, but that's kind of an easy way of doing it. So I've had something that was 4 minus 4. I would put this together and make it 8. Okay, that's how simple that is, right? Your absolute value of the negative number is greater than the positive number. You just subtract the numbers. Basically, you take the difference, and because this number, the negative number, is bigger, you put the negative sign in front of it. So we have minus 13 plus 8. You just take the difference of these two numbers, and you make it minus 5. If you have two negative numbers, it's real easy. Just put them together and put a negative sign next to it. Negative 11 plus negative 5 equals negative 16. Okay? Or keep in mind, you could actually combine these two things. It's a plus a minus 5, or you could say minus 11 minus 5. You get the same answer. Okay? That's why you see this or here, right? So last one is, if the positive number is bigger and you're adding them, very simply, you're just subtracting. 12 minus 4 equals 8. Okay? So you should have made this note card. It's going to help you doing these kind of worksheets. All right? And hopefully, like I said, it won't be too bad. Take your time and refer back to this, right? So we're just adding integers on this worksheet. So I think 8 plus 20 is pretty easy. 28, it should be good. Let's do this one. This is where it gets weird. Minus 15 and minus 3. Let's look at my note card. Two negative numbers. That's what I have. Blank, blank equals blank. So let's take a look at this again. Minus 15 minus 3 minus 18. That's not bad, right? How about this one? 17 plus minus 19? Well, let's take a close look at this. This number's bigger, so let's look at our rules, right? It says, let's clear this. The negative number is a bigger magnitude, because that's absolute value sign, than the positive number. You subtract the numbers and make the answer negative. Let's take a look at that guy again. This one's bigger, so 19 minus 17 is 2, and then you make the number negative, right? Now we have a situation where the positive number is bigger than the negative number. You just subtract it, which would make that 14, okay? So adding seems pretty straightforward if you're using the note card, okay? Now, the only one that had like a negative is this one, which actually literally is subtracting an integer. Now we're going to look at worksheet that has to do with that. And really, it's all about practice. When you say negative, you're really saying the opposite of a number is going to equal a positive number. So anytime in this, we were looking at a negative 4 equals 4. A negative 8 equals 8, right? So you need to write these down and then rewrite them to make it work, okay? So let's take this guy. Minus 9 minus 16. It's pretty straightforward, right? Go back to our rules, right? Let's clear the screen. We have two negative numbers. Add the numbers, make the sign negative, right? Negative, s is equal to minus 25. Now we'll do this one. I actually have it written out ahead of time. I left it on the sheet to make it easier when you go to do this thing. So 7 minus 11, these come together making it plus 11. 7 plus 11, which would make it 18. All right, let's try this one down here, right? I'm just going to scroll down because These other ones I think you can do. I'm going to look at one of these. Look at this guy. Minus 10 minus 10. It's the opposite of negative 10. So let's see what we got here. Minus 10. That's not going to change. This is going to do this. So it's going to be plus 10. Your answer for that would be 0. Now, there's a whole bunch you can try, but that basically is just to get you started on how to do these things. So keep in mind, these rules I'm showing you here, this is really the subtraction rule, this one up here at top. When you're subtracting a negative integer, you're actually literally make it positive. Right? And hopefully this helps.